You know what this is, right? We'll get into it in a second. I am wore out. I probably look it, disheveled, tired. I have not slept well last few days. You know, as I go to bed and I'm thinking about the van, things I want to build, things I got to do in the van, and it keeps me up. I had to get up last night and draw things out, and I still didn't sleep well because I'm a finisher. I'll be thinking about something until I'm done with it. And this will be the 4th trip across the country in 4 years in an Astro van. I've probably driven across the country 20 times or more, probably 17 different vehicles. I remember doing the math one time. It's unimportant. I just like doing it. When you're driving across the country, there's plenty of places to go to the bathroom. Gas stations, rest areas, that sort of thing. And if you're camping, it's no big deal. You dig a hole, no big deal. But you're squatting. And there are times when you're in the van and you have to go. You might be in a parking lot or something. So what most people end up doing is they do the bucket thing. And I've done the bucket thing, and I don't like it, and the bucket eats up too much space. So I had this idea where I wanted to get, when I was a kid, you'd see these like kind of scissor folding aluminum kind of hunting chairs. And they had like a piece of cloth across the top. It'd open up, lock in place. I was looking for one of those to modify, and then I came across this thing, which is pretty cool. And it'll support 300 pounds, and instead of the plastic lid that came with it, which doesn't actually lock in place, I made this piece of plywood. And I'm going to put some clips that'll go in the bolts that are on it, and this should be able to hinge, just like at home. And the way this thing works, just take a plastic bag with this ring here, and there's a way to do it, but I don't have to get super fancy with you here. And then you can snap the ring in place, and you're good to go. So you can put some sawdust in there, cat litter, whatever. The reason I made the plywood lid for it, which is pretty cool, that thing will support 300 pounds. That's what they tell you, right? Everything you own when you're in a small space, it's nice if it can do more than one thing. It helps me get in the van, or it helps me get up in here. I also picked up a climbing ladder. You can see the loop there, I can get into that. So that's kind of nice. But I also went on a little shopping spree here. Picked up a couple other things. So, let's have a little fun here. You see it, don't you? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got myself a compressor. I'm real excited about it. Got the Smittybilt, and I don't know if you guys have watched reviews on this thing, but this thing will inflate my tire. I've only got a 30-inch tire. Probably in a minute and a half maybe. Pretty excited about that. I also got the tire deflators. So you guys have probably seen, I don't have to do a review on this. You guys, plenty of reviews on YouTube already. But you can set these things and screw them on, walk around, they deflate your tires. Deflate? Deflate. Crappy kind of case though. Both of these things come in crappy cases. I mean, this is kind of a hassle to make work. And I'll probably pick up a better Pelican box for that. I want to talk about what I want to do inside here. I kind of have this idea, as they'd say on Long Island. See if I can get this to focus in here for you. You guys can see what's going to happen. So the idea here is let's see if we can even sit on this thing in the van. Oh yeah, headed to the ceiling, but it works. So, I was racking my brain last night. Where do you store it? Because the thing I like about it is that it collapses down. It does not eat. It's a lot less room than a 5-gallon bucket, you would admit, right? And, you know, what I'm thinking is, I'm going to build like a closet. It's going to sit right on top of this. It's going to be a box like this. It's going to cantilever past here, past this. Still be able to get 4x8 sheets of plywood or other material underneath here, or whatever, tools. It can't go all the way up to here because I need to access this latch for this window. So it'll be a separate box, but it will attach to the ceiling, and the side cabinet will butt to it, but it'll house this thing. This will just slide right in there. Of course, my skateboard's in the way. But this will slide inside that box, and there'll be plywood here, plywood here. It'll slide in, have a little hatch to it. I could cram some other stuff in there, and it's out of the way. I think that'll be kind of bitchin'. So, you can see here the bolts. I'll get some L brackets. They'll be bolted to that. They'll come up and go this way, and they'll be screwed to this. So theoretically, this should be able to lift and still be attached. I'll sand this out, clear coat it. I'll brand my logo in there. I'll put a couple of holes here, possibly. If I don't put the hinges, I'll put holes. It came with some small Velcro straps to hold it in place. So, kind of excited about that. You know, you don't know. I'm going to tell you. Like I said, this will be the 4th trip in the van, but, you know, and every time I do it, I've got my tools in here. So on this trip, my goal is to be as comfortable as possible. I've done it enough times now to know what I want, what I could use, what I need, what I don't need. And I don't really need much. So this should be a good one, this trip. I'm excited about it. I just can't wait to get it done. The problem is that working in the shop on a project means all that space inside the shop is eaten up, all my work surface areas. So I can't really work on a project when, you know, the whole shop is just eaten up. You know, it's just tough. I have to get to the point where all that wood is milled. That's, you know, today's day 2, and because I haven't slept, yesterday I actually hurt my hand. I took the skin off the top of my fingers on the joiner. So I'm not getting as much work done efficiently as I normally would. I probably got 3 or 4 more days just milling these pieces of wood so that I can then assemble parts. Once I assemble the parts, I can consolidate them so I'll have some work areas. So while I'm working on those parts, sanding them out and whatnot, I can get some work done on the van, on the weekend or after hours, whatever. That's what's happened. Be good to one another. Bye-bye.